So this is recording what's on the screen. It records what we say.
Okay.
I'll show you some video clips, drills, and various bits and bobs as we go through the analysis,
Okay.
and then I'll burn it to disk and give you a copy of
Okay, great.
the disk, and I'll also give you a link through to well, you've got the Guru app already, haven't you? But I'll send you through some links to the relevant drills and things that are appropriate for you, and also give you a swim smooth type guide, which you will have anyway, but just so as you've got that on there as well.
Okay.
So you're swimming with the squad. I mean, you're one of the quickest in the squad. And how do you feel about your swimming in general and where you are at the moment?
I feel as though I've plateaued.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, I'm really pleased with the way my swimming has come on. I feel like I've plateaued, and I know there's lots to work on, because when I'm swimming and I'm looking at John or Corin next to me, and even Tony to the other side, they seem a lot flatter and a lot smoother and straighter in the water, and sometimes I feel like I'm wiggling and thrashing around quite a lot.
And why do you think? I mean, I'm assuming you know why that is, because we've spoken about it.
I'm assuming a lot of it's breathing. I'm not even sure what leg kick I should be doing or am doing. The leg kick session this morning, yesterday, was great, because I find that if I've been practicing kicking my legs and then I go into swimming, with my legs seem to become more natural. So that's something I really need to practice, is just getting in the water and just doing those drills, those kick drills, because it's after doing them and then swimming normally, they come in. I mean, after a while, I seem to forget that I need to be kicking my legs again, and I sort of drift back into that. But I think that's going to be a repetition thing. Just keep doing it until it becomes more natural. Yeah.
Okay. Well, we briefly spoke about your kick in the squad the other day, didn't we? And we'll have a look at it on here.
Okay.
People will naturally gravitate towards a particular type of a leg kick, and it ultimately very often related to the type of stroke that you have. And I asked you a few seconds ago about what type of swimmer you thought you were, swim types, because you've got the Swim Smooth Guru app and all that kind of stuff. And you said kind of you thought you were an overglider, but whether you still are or not, you're not kind of not 100% sure. I would still put you as an overglider, but you're an overglider, and it's interesting that you said you're not sure if you still are. You kind of progress maybe. You're progressing towards being a swinger. Now, swingers generally will have a faster arm turnover, but will have a 2-beat kick.
Okay.
So their kick is there to balance up the stroke.
Yeah.
So 1 kick per arm stroke. That makes sense.
Yeah.
So it would be interesting to see how, as you develop, how that kick works out for you. I'll come back to that. A little bit later on. But we'll start going through the analysis, and I've obviously previewed it, and I've made a few notes here. Now, the idea of this analysis is to try and keep it fairly short and fairly simple, because the thing for you is to have some key issues for you to go away and work on, rather than be bombarded with a load of stuff. Your swimming is pretty good in terms of your speed and your efficiency, and arguably what you're trying to do is you're trying to get faster. We're not trying to turn you into a super smooth Mr. Smooth.
No.
The idea is to make you as fast and efficient as we can get you using what we've already got.
Yeah.
So I look at some key points to start with. Then I looked at your head position. So if we just kind of play this through, and when I'm talking about head position, I'm more talking about as we drop under the water here.
All right.
Now this is obviously a shot that you don't get to see unless you've got the cameras here. Now you do have, when you've got some momentum in your stroke. We'll talk about that in a minute. When you've got momentum in your stroke and you're going through an acceleration phase, you've actually got a nice body position in the water. If you look about
where my arm is, and
so your body position is pretty good. That's the surface of the water, that line there. And you're actually in a nice position there. Your fingertips, your arms nice and straight, your fingertips are slightly tipped down. Really nice. Really nice. Now, if we just play this through here, what you're actually doing is you start to look forward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The bending,
Start to look forward. You got a big exhalation of air there, which tells me that you're holding onto your breath until very late in the cycle. Now, what's happening here is because you've got a pause in your stroke, which we'll come to in a minute, this lead arm stays out front a long time. Yeah, so you start to decelerate. Okay. Now, what you're also doing is you're lifting your head and you're looking forwards. So if you look at where you, just take it back a second, you start to lift your head. So your goggle line, you're looking this way. You're exhaling a lot of air here. And because you're lifting your head, what you're actually starting to do is present this surface area to the...
Yeah, I'm dropping. That's an awful lot.
So you're dropping, yeah. So your speed is going fast as you pull through, slow as you take a stroke. So you go fast, slow. And that's why you look at the other swimmers and they seem to be much smoother.
Yeah.
You've got a lot of pause and deceleration in your stroke. So what happens when you do that is your body starts to drop, and you can already see that your legs have dropped from where they were when we first had a look. So your body's dropped down. So looking forward, and there we've got the other arm coming in. So you've got a catch-up style of stroke, and again, it's because of the pause on this arm here. Now, if you look at your surface area of the chest that's being presented to the water here. Okay, so there's several things which are happening.
Very arched, aren't I? Back.
Yeah. Several things which are happening which are causing you to decelerate. You've got a pause in your stroke. You're lifting your head, holding your breath to a point, which naturally causes the chest to rise because of the air in the lungs, which will make the legs sink. Okay, and all the things combined will lead to a deceleration in the stroke. Okay, so I'm kind of pointing out this is the biggie for you. This trying to get rid of this pause.
Yeah.
Okay, and there's a load of things which are kind of adding to that pot, if you like, of things which are causing this. And obviously we'll go through what we're going to do in a second. So first of all, if we look at head position in isolation, simply, there we go. So you start to look forward there. Start to look forward. Your chest, if you look at your chest at this point, it bends up, starts to curve up here, and then you take your stroke. Okay, so first of all, simply focusing in on keeping that head looking further down. It's something you can experiment in terms of head positions. So either looking straight down or looking slightly further ahead, but there's no real reason for you to actually kind of look forwards before you take the breath. But that's the simple one. Yeah. That's the beauty of this kind of thing, is you can see it. It's a simple one that you can see.
Not even near the end of the pool, just justify looking.
You do it all the time. You do it all the time. Yeah. I mean, if I play it through full time.
Yeah. No, it's I'm doing it there, aren't I?
Yeah.
And every time that the right arm before the right arm comes back.
So it's part of you've built it into part of your kind of stroke cycle.
Okay.
So there's a simple one. There's nothing to really kind of show you in terms of, because I'd normally show you, say if it was lifting your head, I'd show you some Popeye kind of clips and things for you to put on there. But in terms of that, it's so visible, all you need to do is practice with that head position. Okay? Just experiment with it. Now you're aware of what you're doing.
So I need to keep my head more focused downwards rather than, or looking forward slightly, but not bringing the head up.
You can experiment with it. You can do some lengths looking straight down and turning to breathe at the side. Or you can do some lengths looking kind of 45 degrees forward, maybe 6 or 8 feet in front of you, and just seeing how that feels. But trying to drop that looking right at the end of the pool that you're doing. Now, you're breathing every stroke at the moment on the one side. Now, arguably, I could be asking you to hammer on about bilateral breathing. I'm not too concerned about that. That's something that you could work on longer term. But for me, it's worth you getting out of the habit of breathing every second stroke.
Okay.
Every stroke.
Yeah.
I've kind of actually been through this in a similar way myself. I was breathing every single stroke and had a similar stroke to yourself, and found that simply going from breathing every stroke to every second stroke, very often you're doing it out of habit rather than need.
Yeah.
You can automatically balance out some of the deceleration. It will already start to improve your stroke. The faults and the decelerations happen every time you breathe.
Yeah.
So of course, if you reduce the frequency by half, then that will happen less often. So it's just something for you to look at.
Yeah.
So I'll take it back here again. So I guess you've never really kind of seen yourself swim.
No, that's
like this.
It's an eye opener, really, isn't it? To see how on that right arm pulls through, I lift my chest up.
Yeah.
And flip that left leg.
Yeah. So the reason you're flipping the left leg, the legs are ultimately balancing you out.
Yeah.
And I mentioned about the kicking. So you've got a 2-beat kick, and your kick is kind of flicking with each arm stroke. Now, what you've got is called a kick start kick.
Yeah.
So if we play this through, this is where we have the pause. On the right hand side, we have this big pause. And that's when you decelerated.
Yeah.
Now your feet instinctively react, give you balance. And what's actually happening here is your body wants to, right now I'm trying to accelerate up again. I'm just about to take the arm stroke. And that's when you put in this big kick. So if I just play it in normal time, bang, bang,
yeah,
bang, and that's every single time.
Yeah.
On the way back. And then again, you probably haven't seen this.
I haven't seen the aerial shots. Yeah.
In fact, I'll show it from here. So your left leg kicks right out the water.
Yeah.
But that is just simply a reaction to what's happening at the front end of the stroke. If we can sort out the delay, then that will reduce.
Yeah.
Okay. You've got a 2-beat kick that will naturally reduce and it will balance itself out.
With the other way, I've been trying to when I'm trying to use my legs now. I tend to, when I'm pulling on the right arm, and that's pulling through, do a 3, almost like 3, 1, 2, 3 flutter, and then nothing on the other arm.
Yeah.
And then the same again. So it's a flutter, nothing, flutter, nothing, flutter, nothing.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. No, absolutely.
And that seems to feel okay. That's what it has been feeling okay. It feels, my legs feel a lot straighter, and I can kick from the hips more doing that than I can trying to. But maybe just because of my arms aren't doing whatever they need to be doing at the front end of the stroke.
Yeah, I mean, actually this morning we did the ballerina drill, and the drill's torpedo to improve the efficiency of your kick. As long as you're aware of that, I don't think you should spend too much time trying to fix your kick.
Okay.
It's good to have an awareness of what your kick should feel like, but your kick will sort itself out largely once we sort out the front end of the stroke.
Okay.
Great.
So
don't worry too much about that. Just one thing to quickly touch on. I mentioned ankle flexibility.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You can see. Yeah. So we've got this pointing down at the feet.
Oh, yes, yeah.
And we did the foot anchors.
Yeah.
The anchors drill today, or the demonstration. It makes a huge amount of difference.
You should have just showed them that.
And that's you're swimming like that. So if I show you someone like Rebecca Adlington. Just wait until she gets her feet in the shot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's. you can just, if I've got a shot there, when she kicks down, if you look at how long her feet are extended, that will make a huge amount of difference to you, especially when we start to speed you up and get rid of that dead spot.
So how her arms are so different to mine as well. Gosh.
Yeah. So ankle flexibility is something for you to work on, kind of going forwards.
That's a physical outside the pool thing, isn't it?
Yeah, no, absolutely. So we've already got working on our head position, looking further down. Don't worry about the kick so much now, and trying to breathe every fourth stroke, and just experimenting with that. Now, the main thing for you really is, if we have a look from the top. Eliminating this dead spot. I just want to show you from above. Now your alignment is actually pretty good. So you're spearing into the water. You're slightly over rotating a bit, but that is again because you're pausing on the one side too long.
Okay.
So you're continuing to roll over onto your side.
Yeah.
So you should be around about 45 to 60 degrees rotated. You're pretty much 180 degrees at that point. But again, that's all related to the pause. It's all coming back to this same thing.
Okay.
There's your big breath.
Yeah.
There's your big kick out. Look at your legs split.
Oh wow.
Again, that's all caused by the pause.
It's amazing. It doesn't feel like you're doing that. But
No. It's
depressing to see it.
But it's actually quite good that it's all related to a very similar thing. So if you can spend that time nailing that one thing, it's going to make a huge amount of time to your stroke, difference to your stroke. Yeah. What I'm trying to show you here is the good points in that you're spearing in nice and straight. And when I talk about spearing in, we want to be traveling. Everything should be going in the direction of travel. So you spear in. In fact, that arm is going over a little bit, but it straightens up very quickly. So your arm is down here. It's still staying straight.
Yeah.
It's pausing, which is causing this split. And then the other arm, the recovering arm, is entering the water and extending in front of the shoulder. So that's pretty good too. Okay. So what we're going to do with it, we're going to swim with agility paddles. So more swimming with the agility paddles. Okay. So the little round ones.
Yeah.
Okay. So, but in conjunction with that, some band swimming, which you probably absolutely hate. Have we done band swimming in the squad?
Yeah.
Now, we can see the reason for wanting to introduce band swimming. If you've got any delay or any pause in your stroke, it's going to cause you to decelerate.
Yeah.
Okay, it's going to cause those legs to drop, and we can do it. Paul's doing it here with a swim pull buoy in, which makes it easier. We've done band swimming in the past with no pull buoy, and it's that's almost like a next stage on. So when you start doing the swimming with the bands, start without the pull buoy first of all. With the pull buoy first of all. And it's going to force you to keep that momentum going in your stroke. Because as soon as you drop, you have this pause in your stroke, you're going to start dropping the legs down. You've got to keep that momentum going. So what I recommend to you is to do a length bands, whip it out, try and mimic the same kind of stroke rate and make that momentum on the way back down again. So alternate lengths. It's important when you do a drill to do the drill and then do normal swimming, but try and mimic what you've just been doing in the drill.
Well, I suppose it will naturally make me speed my arms up.
Exactly. Yeah. We can look at stroke rate as well, but your stroke rate will naturally increase. Your stroke rate will naturally increase as soon as we start to take that pause out of the stroke. It will naturally increase. So bands work. Do it without the agility paddles, first of all.
Okay.
And then you can start to introduce the agility paddles both into the bands and also into your normal swimming. And the agility paddles are designed for you to, if your hands aren't in the correct position, then you'll start to feel that in the paddles. So you will naturally start to adjust your hand position, your hands in the water. But more importantly, you want to try and maintain that constant feel of pressure on your hands. Okay, so as you pull the water back through, you want to feel that pressure on your hands. At the moment, on your right hand side particularly, you'll put your hand in and you'll feel nothing because it's just sitting there. So you want to be concentrating on spearing in and again going straight into the catch and pull through and almost immediately feeling that pressure of the water on your hands.
Okay.
Your arm position, your hand position, as we've already spoken about actually in the water, is actually pretty good.
Yeah.
That arm comes down a little bit flat and again has a bit of a pause there. It's pulling through a little bit close to the body, but I don't need to worry about that at this stage. So your arm, for me, your arm positioning isn't too bad. It's okay. It's kind of, that would almost be the next stage on.
Yeah.
So you don't need to worry too much about that. So simply swimming with the agility paddles, swimming with the bands on. He's taking the pool boy out now. Look, if you have a look at.
Yeah.
So the legs are dropped.
Yeah.
But especially at Stratford, a 33-metre pool, I wouldn't do length after length after length of bands because you'll find it very difficult. And you can see what Paul's doing here is he's actually experimenting with different hand positions and things.
Hands coming up front. Yeah.
And you'll start to feel where your arms should be, where he's demonstrating where they shouldn't be really there. Yeah. So you'll start to get used to that. I don't think I've got it in here actually, but another thing we can look at, but it's not in here, is no, it's not. Is parachute? Swim with a parachute.
Yeah.
Have you ever tried parachute?
No,
before?
John used it, didn't he? Without the parachute, it was just the tether on the end.
The towel, yeah. So the idea of the towel then is just, or the parachute, is that you swim and try and maintain a constant pressure on the cord.
Mm-hmm.
So every time you pause, you'll feel it go loose. So again, you'll adjust your stroke so that you're constantly trying to keep that tension in the cord. It's as simple as that, really. Yeah. It's obviously going to increase the amount of resistance there, so it's going to be harder for you. But band isn't easy anyway either. But you're trying to kind of provide yourself that stimulus to make sure that pause isn't there. So quite simple, really. I could spend a lot of time going through the stroke in fine detail, but this is the one thing which everything kind of stems from.
Okay.
And it's quite a simple thing for you to go away and kind of focus on, really. And it's actually something which you don't need. A lot of drills you need coaches poolside to give you feedback to make sure you're holding the position correctly and this, that, and the other. With bands working with the parachute and things like that, it's something quite nice in terms that you can go away on your own and you can feel when it's not working. Mm-hmm. It's quite a simple one.
Yeah, it'll let you know. Yeah. Okay.
The only other thing apart from that would be at some point doing a ramp test, but that would be after you've done a little bit of stroke rate work. So ramp test is where we, similar as we did the squat a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah. We
look at your stroke base rate and then we adjust the stroke rates to find out where you feel more efficient. So there'll be a particular stroke rate where you'll be going quicker through the water and it might feel easier.
Yeah.
But your effort level won't be going up alongside that.
Yeah.
So you end up with kind of almost like a sweet spot in your stroke. Okay. So yeah, going back to the start then, overglider because of this pause in your stroke.
Yeah.
But very much, I think you're going to develop into a swinger with a nice, effective 2-beat kick. That's what we're trying to achieve.
Yeah, I need to kick. I'm kicking from a knee there, not from the hips at all.
Yeah. So if I just so as you've got it on here, I'll show you the extreme swinger that we have. And you've heard of Harry Wiltshire?
Yeah.
Have you seen footage of Harry swim before?
Not. Yeah, I think I have on the Guru. Yeah, I mean I watched him obviously
Okay,
at Kona, but
right,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, I have been through the elites.
I'm not
Yeah,
suggesting you're going to end up something like
no,
something like this, but it's just a demonstration of there's no right or
yeah,
wrong way to swim in terms of arm recovery styles. But he's very much a swinger, so I think you will be not to this extreme
no,
degree, but you will have a faster arm turnover with a two beat kick, and as long as your catch and pull through is efficient. I mean, you try and spot a dead stroke in
yeah.
his in his stroke, and it is absolutely continuous. So that's more like what we're trying to achieve.
It's very fast and frenetic, isn't it? Yeah,
Yeah,
very very quick.
but he can keep that going.
Yeah,
It
absolutely. Yeah,
looks it's high energy,
yeah.
but he can keep that going. He's got the fitness to go with it.
And his head position is only changing when he's breathing, as opposed to
Yeah,
yeah, mine is breathe and then coming up to the front, isn't it? Which
yeah,
is bizarre.
yeah. So just so as you've got that on here, let me find. Oops. In terms of head positions and turning your head when you breathe. So this is John O'Van Hazel. Again, you will have seen
Yeah,
this through all Swim Smooth stuff. So if you look at his head position when he turns to breathe and how he rotates. So his head purely rotates with his spine, and it's part of the whole rotation of the
yeah.
stroke. So I mean, if you look at that, I think that's absolutely incredible. You look how still his head is.
Oh no, it's amazing.
It just does not
It doesn't
move
move.
at all. And then when he turns to breathe, it's part of the rotation. He
Part of
just
it,
looks
it just lets his head go with the shoulders. Yeah.
directly sideways, and then he's back in. Not breathing very often. Okay, so the breathing to the left, to the side, is part of the rotation of the stroke. So rather than separating the head, so your head's going up and down,
Yeah.
and even just that, keeping your head straight and in alignment with the spine, and turning to breathe with the rotation, will help to reduce that deceleration. Okay.
Yeah. No, that's fascinating to see it.
So yeah,
It's amazing that all the things that you wouldn't even know was happening.
no, and you can see, I mean, you can see how much difference it's going to make to your stroke
Yeah.
if we can reduce that deceleration. And it's I always find these things quite exciting, really.
Yeah, no, it is because you want what I want to do is see areas how I can improve in areas. If that makes sense. It's because I want to be able to get myself under 6 minutes for my 400.
Yeah.
I'm not. I've come down from 7 to 6:20 something, so I should another 20 seconds is achievable.
Yeah.
It's finding those areas and knowing how to improve on those areas. So this is great to see this.
Well, in simple terms, if we look at, so we're at 2284, okay? So your hand is extended, hand extends in to the furthest extension, 2294 there.
Yeah.
So if we look at how long it's there for, so you've got nothing accelerating you through the water. All you've got is the momentum from the previous stroke here.
Okay.
So you've got nothing making you go forwards.
No.
Still nothing making you go forwards. Still nothing making you go forwards.
So
and
nearly
then
a full second, yeah.
So almost a second per stroke.
Yeah.
Of doing nothing.
Right.
So even if you just reduce that pause down by 25 1/100ths of a second, by 25%, quarter of a second, it'll make you go quicker.
And that's on the right arm, isn't it? So that right arm.
Yeah, you've got a pause on both sides.
Yeah, but it's more. Oh, it'd be more prevalent on the left arm, won't it? When I'm breathing.
Yeah. So I mean, if you look at it on this side, so just trying to take it to. So extend forward. So 24.11. So there's nothing, 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 and then it starts to pull back here. So 3/4 of a second.
Yeah.
So it's huge.
Yeah.
It's huge the amount of difference we could achieve with you.
Yeah.
But again, going back to the start, and we're kind of repeating ourselves a little bit, is
No.
you're naturally holding a nice straight alignment. So you got a good points going for you.
Yeah.
Good natural alignment, nice body, nice high body position in the water when you're moving.
Yeah.
So it's
Wow.
yeah. The bilateral and the catch up on the one side is caused by the extra long delay when you breathe. But you've got catch up on both sides really.
Yeah.
That will start to sort itself out once you start to work on the stroke rate work, on the removing the delay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No, yeah. It's great.
So I'll give you a copy of the swim type guide. So I'll give you Overglider and Swinger for you to have a look through.
Super.
And obviously drop me an email with some bits and bobs links on things like that.
All right. Brilliant.
All right. So I'll just switch this on.